Hello and welcome to Celtic Down Under. My name is Laura and I am joined by Liam as we cover the last in Group G. We're covering Cameroon and their arrival at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. How are you doing, Liam?
Good, good. Cameroon are one of those wee teams that I always get excited about when you see Cameroon on the telly. You know it's World Cup time.
Oh, absolutely. We've talked about a few of the teams before who mean that, but there's no team that encompasses that more, I don't think, than Cameroon, to be honest.
Yeah,
Obviously the famous semi final against was it semi final against England?
the quarter final.
Quarter final, that was it.
Yeah,
They proved to be so difficult against England at a previous World Cup, and they always have had talented players who have broken out into the larger stages of the world football scene, but few more so, especially on the World Cup stage, than a certain Roger Mila, whose replica shirt you are wearing today. What a beauty that is!
yeah, yeah. I recently turned 39 this week, so I think I am probably still about 15 years younger than Roger Miller was when he played in that tournament,
Yeah,
allegedly.
yeah. Well, many happy returns. I hope if he had 15 years to wait to play at a World Cup, then maybe there's still a chance for you at 39. I don't
Aye,
know.
who knows? Who knows?
But let's get on to looking at the Cameroon squad. I think that's probably the best place to start for this because it will give us a good basis of which to discuss. Um, Three goalkeepers they're taking to the World Cup. We've got the Marseille goalkeeper, who unfortunately I am not brave enough to pronounce the name of, as culturally insensitive as that may seem, but I would rather.
Simon. Simon. His
So
name's
we'll
Simon.
call him Simon, but I would rather do him that than disrespect him by butchering his name. We've then got Davis Apasi and then the Cameroon first choice goalkeeper, former Ajax and current Inter number one, Andre Onana. Um
Hmm.
Andre Onana, obviously controversies aside with the ban from football for an apparent doping infringement, which, given the rules around doping, I'm not sure it's entirely fair anyway on him. He's
Hmm.
certainly a talented goalkeeper and one that could make a difference for Cameroon at this World Cup.
Yeah, much like Brazil, Cameroon have historically not had great goalkeepers, but this time around they do have a great goalkeeper, and the fact that Simon is playing for Marseille would also suggest that that Cameroon are producing more and more goalkeepers who can play at a high level, so
Yeah,
that can only be good for the future.
absolutely, and it'll be interesting to see what difference the man between the sticks for Cameroon does make.
Mm.
Going a little bit further forward, we've got the defenders. We've got Nkulu of Aris. We've got Enzo Ibossi of Udinese. We've got Nuhu Tolo of Seattle Sounders. Oliver Mbaizo of Philadelphia Union. Collins Fai of Altai. Jean-Charles Castelletto of Nantes. Christopher Wu of Rennes. And Jeremy Ongueni of Frankfurt. Not very many household names there, and not playing again at a terribly high level. Am I naive to be suggesting that regardless of the quality between the sticks with the goalkeeper, the defence is a potential area where Cameroon could come unstuck at this World Cup?
I definitely think as we get forward and look at their midfield and attack, you will see that the defence is the weak link in this team,
Mhm.
but not necessarily weak, just weaker than the other elements of the team, I think.
Yeah. With that said, let's go and have a look at the midfield and forward line for Cameroon. We've got Gail Ondoa of Hanover. We've got Samuel Gui of Michelin. We've got Pierre Kunde of Olympiacos. Martin Hongla of Verona. Andre Frank Zambo Anguissa of Napoli. And Olivier Ncham of Swansea City. Now then, that is not a name I expected to see, but we will get to our old friend Ncham in a little second. Is there anybody else from that midfield lineup that is standing out to you?
Well, Kunde of Olympiacos is a tidy player as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I only follow Greek football sporadically because it doesn't show up on TV over here very often. But Olympiacos are kind of the team that I follow, and he's he's had a very good season with them so far. And the Greek league is a better level than most people give it credit for. So yeah, he will not be out his depth at this tournament.
Absolutely. Let's go talk about Oliver and Cham. Obviously, former Celtic player, now playing for Swansea City. I have
Mm.
to be completely honest. I wasn't expecting to see him in this squad because I just had always assumed, being born in France, that he would go on to represent France at international level, and that might have been naive of me to say so. But he had
Mm.
appeared for every age group of France from 2011. He started in the France under 16 team and rose up to the under 21s as late as 2019. But he seems to have made this switch to Cameroon in 2022, having made only 2 appearances for the national team. Um, he was placed in standby for the African Cup of Nations in 2019, and he debuted for the Cameroon national team in a friendly 2-0 loss to Uzbekistan only as recently as September. Are you surprised to see his inclusion there? What do you think he's going to do in terms of featuring for Cameroon at this World Cup?
Well, I mean, we know that when Olivier Ncham is in the mood, he's a fantastic footballer who can do wonderful things. Not least that winning goal against Lazio.
Yeah, yeah.
But the the problem here is that he's only played, like you say, he's only played 2 games for Cameroon so far, and there might be a wee bit. I mean, I don't know this, but there might be a wee bit of resentment amongst some of the other Cameroon players because maybe one of their teammates has missed out because this guy has just suddenly declared for getting included because he plays in England.
Yeah.
Well, he plays in Wales, but he plays in the English league. You get my point. Um,
Yeah.
so I think that it's a risky one for Cameroon, but if he turns up, he'll be a valuable addition to that squad. But unfortunately, as we saw towards the end of his Celtic career, he has a habit of not turning up when it really matters. So, watch
Yeah,
this space.
it's certainly somebody I'll be looking out for at this World Cup, having not expected to see him there, and whether he makes an appearance or not, it'll be nice to see a familiar face, that's for sure. Speaking of familiar faces, let's see if there's any in the front line for
Yeah.
Cameroon at this World Cup. We've got George's Kevin Nkudu of Besiktas. We've got Vincent Abubakar of Al Nasser. Brian Mbuemo of Brentford. Jean-Pierre Nsam of Young Boys. Carl Toko Akambe of Lyon. Mumi Ngamalu of Dynamo Moscow. I absolutely butchered that one. Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting of Bayern Munich. Christian Besong of Shanghai Shenhua. And Suabu or Maru of Cotton Sport. Again, probably the most high-profile name there is Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting of Bayern Munich. Not always for
Mm.
positive reasons, because he's actually, I think, gets unfairly maligned as a player who doesn't deserve to be playing at the level that he's playing at. But I would have to suggest otherwise. You don't end up playing for Paris Saint-Germain and Bayern Munich without being a good footballer.
No, no, but Bayern Munich are not in the business of signing duds. He's a good player. He's the thing is when you come into the Bayern Munich team and Lewandowski has just left. That's really fair, you know.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair to say. Um, Listen, it's difficult to cover the Cameroon squad because of the nature of the squad and some of the players playing in such far flung places. So it's difficult to assess exactly what kind of an
Mm.
impact they're going to have at this World Cup. But what do you personally feel is going to be the impact of Cameroon at this World Cup?
I hope that they can get out of this group. Unfortunately, I don't think they will, but I hope
Mm-hmm.
they can. As I said before, Serbia are my tip to take that second place behind Brazil,
Yeah.
but uh, in a purely emotional sense, I would rather it was Cameroon because I think the fans, the the vibrancy of the style of football they play, just the colour that they bring to the tournament. Um, I think Cameroon have a lot more to offer the footballing global community than, with the greatest respect, Switzerland or Serbia do. So
Mhm.
I hope they can go further than the group stage, but they are going to have to beat the odds to do that.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say we talked about Denmark being a lot of people's second team, but I think if you asked a lot of people at a World Cup, there's nobody ever wants anything but good things for Cameroon, and I think that would certainly be the case at this World Cup as well.
Yeah.
Looking at the group as a whole, now that we've covered all of the teams, it is fascinating to say, as we've said in the other videos, just how tight this group could become, but we've not really talked about, you know, the chances. We've kind of gone through it, I think, assuming that Brazil are going to win most, if not all, of their fixtures. Is
Mm.
there any chance any of the three teams other than Brazil in the group can challenge Brazil and even you maybe take a point, take 2 points off of them at some point in this group?
Well, funnily enough, I think purely because of their unpredictability, and like you say, the widespread nature of the squad and the fact that they're not going to be as well known as the other two, Cameroon might be the one that springs a surprise.
Hmm.
Because on one hand, it will be harder for the Brazil coaches to research them, because I would imagine that tracking down footage of African qualifying games is probably not as straightforward as it is for European qualifying. And scouting as well is probably logistically a bit more tricky as well.
Hmm.
But I think that Cameroon also bring that fearlessness,
Yeah.
that kind of let's just go and have a go attitude, which, they might not have the same level of player that they had in 1990, but they still very much have that, the indomitable Lions spirit is still very much there. And I think that could be a crucial element for them as the tournament progresses. They'll go out and have a go at Brazil. They might well end up losing 5 or 6-0 as a result, but I hope they don't, because I like to see teams being rewarded for being brave.
Well, I think that's a fair point to make, and I think it's something that Cameroon especially would do well to heed is nobody's expecting anything of them against Brazil. Nobody would be surprised if they were heavily defeated. So they are losing nothing by going and taking the game to them. They can
Yeah,
only gain from doing that. And
yeah.
I think that they would do well to heed that advice if anybody from the Cameroon team's watching this particular podcast. And perhaps take that chance against Brazil, because the other way of looking at it is you're only going to get to play Brazil once at a World Cup if you're a player in that position usually.
Mm.
And why not give it your best while you're out there?
Yeah, exactly. Go out and have a go. You've got
Yeah.
nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Yeah, with that said, I think I speak for both myself and Liam when I say all the best to Cameroon. Um,
Yes.
they are they are a very likable team. They create a lot of nostalgia as far as World Cups are concerned, and I think we both want to see them do their best. And the biggest plus side of all, they don't have Neymar playing for them.
Yes.
So thank you very much, Liam, for joining me for this Group G review. We have one more group to go in this World Cup preview. Those videos will be out in a few days' time, certainly in time for the first games of the teams in those groups. But we hope you've enjoyed watching all the videos up to now. We certainly have enjoyed making them. Liam, thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you again for another video in the very near future.
Thank you.